Hey guys, Krzysztof the Polish Geek, and welcome to another movie review. And this time I'm talking about Extraction 2. I've done a trailer reaction to this movie and I just watched it. Extraction 2 was a fantastic movie and it totally made up for that huge disappointment that The Flash was. Though again, I probably should have known better than to trust the movie starring Ezra Miller, but whatever. Extraction 2 though was fantastic, and it features three-dimensional characters with human motivations, desires, and that includes the movie's villains too. And also it features lots of amazing action sequences, and the movie is just a blast to watch through and through. The first Extraction movie I thought was a great action movie, but I think the sequel, Extraction 2, is even better. Yep. And the story of the movie is that Tyler Rake, having survived the events of the first movie, which I think was a smart move by the directors, by the way, but yeah, Tyler Rake survived the events of the first movie and wakes up from a coma, and then later he gets back into action and he has to rescue his ex-wife's sister and her two kids from the Georgian prison. They are being imprisoned by her abusive husband, who has a even more dangerous brother who commands an army full of bad guys. So of course Tyler Rake goes on a rescue mission to rescue them. Tyler of course rescues them pretty quickly and kills the abusive husband, who you initially think will be the villain of the movie, but then it quickly turns out that his brother will be a villain instead, and of course he starts pursuing and chasing Tyler and the family throughout the movie. The action in this movie is simply spectacular. Like, the sequences tend to be long and almost feel like real time. Like in the very beginning, there is one 20-minute sequence that's seemingly done in one shot when Tyler goes to a facility to rescue the family. And the filmmaking and the camera angles here are magnificent, and the way they're executed to create suspense and satisfaction is just simply amazing. As amazing as action sequences in this movie are, there are also scenes in between action sequences that focus on amazing conversation between characters, and we learn so much more. We learn a lot more about Tyler Rake's backstory that we already knew a little bit in the first movie, and we get to see more flashbacks with his son, whom we knew already he lost in the first movie. And we also later get to meet Tyler's ex-wife, and we see how she's still very much bitter about their son's death and still blames Tyler for being a terrible father. This is all very interesting, and so much depth, I say, is in those conversations. And the characters here are so human and so relatable. And then of course there is ex-wife's sister, who has a son named Sandro, who very much idolizes his abusive father and is kind of blind to the terrible abuse that the father does to the family, especially to the mother. So when Tyler kills the abusive father in the very beginning to protect them, Sandro is very bitter about it and even betrays them to the uncle because he still idolizes his father and believes the father cared about them despite everything proving otherwise. So Sandro's moral dilemma is actually one of the most interesting parts about the movie. The villains in this movie are also wonderfully done. They are two brothers, and we learn so much of their backstory, and through flashbacks we see how much war they've seen and how much suffering they endured, and it perfectly explains why they are the way they are. And as evil as they are, they also share a huge brotherly love, and I think this is just perfect. It's a perfect way to make the brothers complex and make you kind of sympathize with them, but still make you very much root for them to lose. Yep, this is perfect balance, because some movies now tend to make villains just way too sympathetic. But here it was a wonderful way to create balance between making the villains sympathetic while still very much root for them to lose and doubt they'll be redeemable in any way. And finally, performances in this movie are phenomenal. Chris Hemsworth is simply fantastic in the role, and he very much steals the whole thing. Although other actors are also pretty good, overall I loved Extraction 2. Like, I think the movie was much better than the first movie, and the first movie was already really good. And I wouldn't mind if they made the third movie too, because the movie keeps you on the edge of your seat constantly with not a single minute spared. And movies like that make me hopeful for the future of the Western entertainment. Okay guys, so here is my review of Extraction 2, because as I said, the movie totally made up for the huge disappointment The Flash was. And what did you think of Extraction 2? Did you see it? Press the like button, please subscribe to this channel, and I will talk to you soon in another video. Talk to you later, bye!